Hey guys, my name is Dane, and I gotta say, I think that it's kinda sad that some of the first weapons you use in Battlefield 4 are also the ones that you quickly leave behind. In this case, the U-100 for the support class. It's got a very low rate of fire compared to every other rifle, except of course the DMRs and the sniper rifles and the shotguns, but it's got a very low RPM, and the magazine size isn't that big at all. The damage is quite standard, and well, of course it's easy to control, but there's a lot of this going on where you basically, you got this weapon at the beginning and then you work towards the other games and then you leave that starter weapon behind. Basically because it's an entry level weapon. This is supposed to introduce you into the game. This is kind of to show you, okay, this is how you do this, this is how you do that, this is how you should use a gun, and it gives you something that's easy to use, so you don't start out with the worst, well, not the worst gun, but a very hard gun to handle. And then later on you will be able to just move up the ranks, so to speak, become more skillful, be able to control the weapon more skillfully, and then you'll be able to move on to the FAMAS, to the AK, to the Scar H and stuff like that, where it's a lot harder to control, in the case of the assault class of course, but to other weapons that are harder to control, but they have a lot of benefits to them if you master them. But I still think that it's kinda sad that these guns are left behind. So what I did with the U-100 just to test it out, I know it's a beast at range, but there is a lot of times where you end up in either medium and close range scenarios and you're just not able to hold your own, because in the case of the U-100 it's got less than 600 RPM, so it's at a disadvantage to almost every single rifle, if not just in a fact that it's at a disadvantage up close. And for me, the way that I work around this with any gun that isn't that good at close range is that I use a silencer, because this allows me to stay off the minimap. This allows me to be able to get those sneaky reloads in there, and when I shoot at people they are disoriented for a short time, hopefully long enough for me to be able to kill them even at range. Of course there's more drop and there's a slower velocity, but in other games I really like to use the bow and arrow, something like H1C1. I like to use it in Rust, and in Warframe I like to use the bow and arrow as well, and there's some other games, I can't really remember the name of those, but just looking at that slow drop and that low velocity makes it feel so much more worth it, I gotta say. But it also, well, I'm also in the zone when I use slow projectiles, because I'm kind of more used to that from other games as well. I do like extremely fast projectiles. I mean, I do snipe a lot and I do like long range a lot, but it's not the worst thing for me to have a low velocity weapon, because when I use the G36C I use a silencer on it and the velocity is low as it is. Well, I think it's actually one of the highest for the carbines, but anyway, I'm able to adjust extremely fast for the low velocity and the increased drop, as long as it's not a sniper rifle. And then I just try to make use of this. I try to make as much use of the fact that I'm not on the minimap and it's hard to see me. So I don't like to fire unnecessary, and I really have to get the drop down before I engage at longer ranges. Once I'm comfortable with the certain drop with the given weapon and a suppressor, I'm able to engage at long distances. Of course that's the case with any weapon. Once you get accustomed with the bullet speed and the bullet drop, you will be able to do well at almost any range with it. But just give me a silencer and I'm gonna have fun. Plus I do like this stealthy assassin-ish feel to it, that I'm off the minimap. Nobody's able to hear me. Well, you will be able to hear me when I'm close, but you won't hear me come. Not like that, guys. But I just like silencers, and I don't think that many people make a lot of use of it. It's like, we don't want the low velocity, we don't want the increased bullet drop. We only use the silencer if it's extreme close quarters and you can't really, well, it's at a range where it doesn't really change anything if you use the suppressor. But I gotta say that you should use this more at longer ranges too. I did make a lot of use of it when I was playing the night maps in the beginning, but I kind of steered clear of the night maps because there was a lot of camping with DMRs and snipers, and then of course tanks, and oh, what's this thing called? I can't remember it. It's the worst vehicle in the game, not the MAA. It's the M142. It's like the camper vehicle. It needs to sit still, and as soon as you fire at any place on the minimap, you will show up on the map, and he will be able to see you, the guy in the M142. So I just like to use the silencer there because it clears my back from a lot of possible situations where I get caught off guard. But when I use a suppressor or a silencer, I'm able to use visual cover way more than I am able to if I don't use a suppressor. And I really think that you guys should make more use of it. Everybody should make more use of it. I know there's a lot of benefits to gain from solid cover, like a wall or something like that, but visual cover and a suppressor is just a beast. Because nobody expects you to be sitting in a bush with a suppressor and then just shooting at people as you would do in a first person shooter. Think for a second. But nobody expects you to sit out in the open just with a bush as a cover. And it's, well, not really the best tactic because, as said, there's no hard cover at all. But it's a viable tactic as well if you just make use of it a lot. And one of the maps that this tactic works extremely well on is Parasol Storm. There's a lot of visual cover, of course there's a lot of hard cover as well, but the visual cover is just so freaking good on this map. And the way that the suppressor pairs up with the U-100, it kind of chips away at the long range capabilities with this weapon. But the close and medium range are so much better with a suppressor. You just gotta really be able to lead at extreme distances, and you have to be able to anticipate quite well and quite skillfully where people are going, because with that increased and lower bullet velocity, just any deviation will cause you to miss. But up close, it's just so awesome when you catch guys off guard and you just... I can't say this enough. I love just getting the drop on people. I love being able to take people out from afar because they don't see me. I love the stealth aspect to any game. And there's a stealth aspect to using a silencer. Of course, being up close, nobody is able to hear you or see you on the minimap. But there's also a stealth factor to being a sniper. Of course, there's the scope glint in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. But besides that, the fact that you're at range, and if you just keep mobile or whatever, you just make sure that you're not sitting in the same spot camping all of the time, but you're still able to take people out and they don't see you, that's also a stealth factor, and I love this. And with the U-100, with a suppressor, if you're just able to lead, you'll actually be able to just pick out snipers at far ranges, like 200, 300 or 400 meters. Well, maybe not 400 meters, that's a bit extreme, but really out there at the 200 and 300 meters distances. You'll be able to just pick them off, but of course you have to be on point with the first shot and then just tap that ass so freaking precise that all of your bullets hit before they even manage to comprehend, like, oh shit, I'm being shot at, but from where? But this is just so awesome, getting the drop on people. And what I also love to do is flank. Flanking is the name of the game in Battlefield 4. There's not really... well, there's two maps with lane concepts, but if you're able to flank, always flank, and a suppressor just allows that. It allows for you to just change the way that you play the game, change your play style. If you want to go hard, straight up against people, you can do that. You can easily do that. They will have a bit trouble noticing you on the minimap. You can actually flank around even though you're being extremely up close and personal, giving them a love tap in the butt or the face, however you want to do it. But you can also do it at range and then just slowly move out to the side and then slowly move up. And I just love this. But as I do myself quite often, I just storm forwards, kind of shouting to myself, Leroy Jenkins. And then sometimes it messes up, but a lot of the time if I just make use of a suppressor, it turns out quite well. And I actually got quite a few loadouts where the name of the game is just silenced. It's just suppressed. It's stealth. And there's a lot of weapons I don't use them without a suppressor. The U-100 and G36C are one of those. I also use, I think it's the CC805. It's a assault rifle. I also use that solely with the suppressor, and I think that I've also started to use the M416 assault rifle with the suppressor just to make it more awesome up close than it already is. But just try to make use of suppressors way more. That's really what I'm trying to say here. It turns almost any weapon, except of course DMRs and sniper rifles, into viable weapons as long as you're able to take care and to kind of compensate for the increased drop and the slower velocity. But if you do that, you're golden. And that's it for this time, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think about the concept of silencers in Battlefield 4, and do you use them a lot, or do you kind of just leave them off to the side so you don't have to deal with the slower velocity and the increased bullet drop, or do you make use of them to get up close and personal, or do you just like to be able to hide whenever you want to? Because I really like to be able to just change directions without the minimap just telling everybody near me that I'm going this way instead of the other way. But with a suppressor, I'm just able to do whatever the freak I want. Of course, if I'm not spotted. Damn, you 3D spotting. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you all in the next one.
I am on a